Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world. It's Julianne Duffy checking in. We're going to get into our charts and our reading for this week, this coming week, October 12th for today till the 19th. I am in, let me just mute that. I am currently in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. So last week I checked in from Niagara Falls, Ontario. Beautiful, it was 30 degrees out. There is a storm, and I'm in Moose Jaw, so that's great. Stay warm. Okay, let us get started. First, what I thought I would do is briefly go over some of the things that was predicted. So when we looked at last week, some of the things that showed up, with the energies was that we would have a closure of court cases and stuff like that. So that did actually happen, which was interesting, especially in Canada. It was the Tamara and Chris Barber finally got a verdict after the longest mischief trial of ever. I didn't even know what day it was, so that was interesting because that did align up with what was predicted. And then one of them for the weekend here was that we would see unlikely allies coming to a peaceful ending, or peaceful kind of agreement was what we were looking at with the energies. And then it's interesting because we're hearing that there is some kind of agreement with what is going on over in Israel and Palestine. Whether that's going to stay and be a long-term thing, who knows, but it was really interesting. Those are just a couple things that I noticed. I'm sure I could probably find more examples of some of the stuff that actually did roll out, but it is very interesting. So please, take some notes, notice how the week goes and see how it affects you in your own life. And if these things do roll out very similar to what the charts actually predict. So let's go over the review for this week. So the weekly summary for this week. So starting for the 12th to the 19th. So we're pivoting from Libra balance into Capricorn structure. With Aquarius awakening. So the moon moves through Libra's weighing of truths. I'm not even sure if you can hear it, but it is raining crazy over here. So where the moon moves us through Libra weighing of truth. So that is another theme that's continuing on. Capricorn has responsibility comes up. Aquarius is our collective call as humanity. And Pisces is spiritual integration. So we're bringing our learnings into what we're happening, right? What's happening, integrating it into our lives. So we're going to pressure build early in this week. So we're going to feel a lot of pressure early in the week. Capricorn's in its first quarter moon. Then we're going to get more clarity, which does expand into the weekend. So next weekend is actually, when I was looking at and doing my pre-planning, it's going to be a beautiful weekend for visiting and getting close with family. Expect relationships recalibrations, structural resets, and collective visioning surfacing. So that's what we're really looking at overall. So the flow of the week is really structure, stability. We get into some responsibility, and then there's some inspiration as we round out to next weekend. So let's pull a card overall just to get the idea of the energy. And please let me know in the chat where you're coming in from. I'd love to say hi to you. So if you post any comment, I'll acknowledge you. And it also helps the algorithms. They like if you want to like it or make a comment, it does help it so other people can see it that might be interested in this. But today I'm pulling from the Gateway of Light cards, activation oracle cards. So the overall message for those that are watching this message today is, what's the divine's message? Hello, Taylor, for joining me. Where are you from? Please let me know. If you missed the first part, I am currently in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, and you might be hearing the storm that's going on. Okay, so let's find out the energy recommendation for this week. Ooh, we got the inner earth, base chakra, strength and security, laying foundations. So this theme has come up many times about the fact that we are in that process of putting the seeds, laying the foundations, building what is going to go forward, right? And I think this is quite appropriate. The base chakra is how we're grounded in this realm, right? That's a root chakra, grounding us into earth, right? And it's a strength and security, laying the foundations. Well, the root chakra is also connected to your family and to your ancestry, and that comes up a lot this week as we're going to go into it. So really appropriate. It really is just that inner earth, really turn inwards. It's strength and security. We're laying foundations, especially if it's around the family. Well, thank you, Taylor, for subbing, and we've got Chanelis, thank you for joining us. Thank you. You're from Canada. I'm in Canada too. Moose Jaw right now as I've been traveling around. Okay, let's go right into each day. So let's start with today, just kind of overall what you can expect. Because if you're here in North America, it's before noon. So we're going to look at what the rest of the day is going to bring for us. So we've got the moon in Pisces for today. So really what we're looking at collectively is it invites rest. So you may feel really tired, needing some extra sleep. That's going to be the big thing that might come up. Some spiritual reflection. Clarity rises through stillness and sensitivity. So it's a really good day to turn inwardly, do some reflection, and ground, right? So the overall energy is allow rest, emotional integration, and focus on forgiving and gentle endings. So this is a good time too where things might be ready to be finalized, right? So with rest and everything, people might cancel plans, they might sleep in. It's not that you're lazy, it's the body catching up. So that might be an energy you run into today if you've got plans, or even for yourself that you might be running late. We've got with the emotional integration, we might be really feeling like the weight of something from earlier this week. Might feel like grief, it might be exhaustion, and this is a good time to process that and allow ourselves to kind of heal, permission to let go of that instead of pushing through that energy if you're feeling it. And then also it's a thing with the gentle endings is, this is a good time today, finish projects, conversations, or habits with kindness instead of drama. So it's not a good drama day. I try to avoid it. Everyone's tired. It's a lot of that energy. For the collective, all of us combined, we might see stories of apologies today, reconciliation, let's reset. And that was kind of what I was saying we've already seen with what's going on overseas. So we'll see, maybe that's a more positiveness will go in that way where there's unlikely allies making amends or coming to a peaceful agreement. We're really asked to shed emotional excess and stabilize. That's what we're being asked to do. So release and restoration is highly supported today for Sunday. And there's a lot of the elemental overlay of water, so there's a lot of emotion today and a lot of reflection with the air element. So that is what we're looking at for this beautiful Sunday. Hopefully it's a lot nicer than this storm that's going on here beside me. But let's pull the card for the energy for today. Any guidance the compassionate divine guides would like to give us about today's energy. Ooh, we got Lumerian light codes, embracing sensitivity. Interestingly enough, we were talking of being gentle and releasing and restoration. So it's really about that sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. So today is definitely, I think it's just reconfirming with this message is that embrace the sensitivity. It's really good to just let yourself heal, gently ending, not bringing in any drama, and living with that grace, like just connecting with that sensitivity. But I think really with the card, the main message, which really overlaps with Sunday, is embracing that sensitivity and that bringing that gentleness to today, and with that healing or letting go, especially as we're finishing projects and with family, right? Perfect. Okay, we're just gonna jump right in, continue on. Let's go to Monday. So Monday, October 13th, if you're in Canada, happy Thanksgiving. You'll probably be around family, or maybe even today, might be. Some people do it Saturday, Sunday, but happy Thanksgiving. So we've got the moon in Aries. And so for collective, it is a fresh start of energy. So we're kind of like opening up and bringing in some new energy into what we've been feeling, some new movement, healing, motion. It's a really good day for planning and taking action. So a surge of energy for planning, some physical organization, great for short travel prep. So again, if you are traveling to visit family, it is really good. And if you are planning some other trips, maybe later this fall or into next year, Monday is a great time to start planning those things. It is also a decision day. So what they say is people might be indecisive. So that might come up as an energy. And they want to, people are indecisive, so they're not, want to act, but they're not really sure what to do. So booking, signing up, or committing to a plan might be kind of iffy because they're not sure what's going on. We also have get your hands on it kind of energy. So really like get in it, deep cleaning, fix things, small, cleaning vehicles, small repairs, rearranging, like that type of stuff will definitely be the vibration of Monday. And there's a higher motivation to exercise, walk, get fresh air. Moving helps to burn any static buildup from Sunday. Plus, if you were having Thanksgiving and it's in Canada, you probably might feel like you want to go for a walk. So I think that's quite appropriate. I actually didn't plan this for Thanksgiving. I didn't make that in for Thanksgiving. That actually just came up. So it's interesting how that aligns, right? So we've got the strongest energy is renewal and action for Monday. So get cleaning, get active, movement is highly supported, that type of stuff, and renewal of ideas. And the elemental overlays, there's a lot of fire on Monday. So we've got drive, finish things, do those type of things, and a lot of air, which is our communication, so talking to other people. Maybe we're communicating with a lot of people saying Happy Thanksgiving if you're in Canada, right? So let's pull the overall energy that is supported by our Divine Compassionate Guides for everyone here, whether you're watching live or recorded, and the guidance they have for Monday. Oh, I got Anunnaki light codes, energetic shift, new information, end of cycle. What was the first thing I said? I'm going to go back and clarify this. Fresh new energy. And that is exactly the card that I pulled. Energetic shift, new information, end of cycles. We've got that fresh new energy. It's just saying we're going to feel, I feel like it's giving us that background energy. We're going to feel maybe a little more alive, a little bit more like, woo, this is great. We're starting new. We're getting new energy flowing. I feel like it's going to be definitely a really good day. Like, I think it's just going to be really good, especially if you're moving and in alignment. It'll be really all good. I have lots of words first thing in the morning. It'll be good. It'll be all good. So it's just reaffirming from the divine that we are in the time of going into new energy. There is a lot of change happening and we're bringing in new energy, which might feel really great because personally, that old energy was a little, ugh. I'm good for some new change. Okay, let's continue. Let's jump into Tuesday, October 14th. So the moon is in Aries still, but it starts to transition into Taurus. So we're seeing that transition. So on a collective, transition from passion to purpose is solidified what we began yesterday. So if we were cleaning or starting something, it's kind of like we finish and we're solidifying those changes. So again, that energy from yesterday, which people might have some indecisions, was also highlighted. That might come up that you can get that decision, right? Because it's kind of like the idea that whatever you started is gonna finish. So if you were planning some trips and stuff like that, you're going to have that kind of conclusion. You'll have everything kind of fall into place, that type of idea. You've got perfect for organizing, so continuing from Monday, still that same kind of energy, scheduling and finishing physical tasks, which were highly supported on Monday. You face like Mia Khalifa, I don't even know how to say that. Thanks for joining me. That's an interesting handle. Interesting name. Okay, so prioritize what actually matters is really highlighted. So it's tie up loose ends on Tuesday. Make sure you're not bringing any with you. It's a good time to schedule appointments, the travel dates, which again was kind of from Monday if you were looking at some travel stuff. Continue paperwork and sorting is still highly supported, and a maintenance mindset. So one of the things that it brings up is like check tires, meal prep, look at balancing budgets, stuff like that. So it's like a little bit of that maintenance stuff, maybe not as much fun, but that stuff is definitely supported for Tuesday. And the strongest energy is actually manifesting and grounding. So if there's something you really want to create and put those seeds to, great day to put that intention, get grounded, and go forward. We have the elemental overlays of fire to earth, which creates stability after action. So if you're doing any of these stabilizing things, so organizing, cleaning, planning, scheduling things, it's gonna feel more stable, and it's because you've done that action. So it's really supported to do some action, whatever in your life is being called to be done. Hello, Lois. I've got to say happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, Lois. I was so busy driving, I forgot to mention that. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's pull the card for the 15th. For the Tuesday, the 14th still. So what do the guides just suggest? You know, we're looking at a lot of just that organizing, scheduling, tying up those loose ends. What would the divine like to give us as some backup guidance? I have no idea if you can hear that storm. It is loud. Okay. Inner Earth, base chakra, strength, security, laying foundations. So again, that same energy, we pulled it for, I think that was a Sunday today. Still that same energy is being supported, going through, because again, we're rooting. We're getting that strength and security. And that is also part of tying up the loose ends. And yeah, because it's stability after action, right? So strength and security is that stability after action, right? And then laying foundations. So you're doing the foundations, you're cleaning, organizing, selling things, making sure your schedules are tracked, you're balancing bills, that stuff. You're laying those foundations, meal prepping, right? So it's like, yep, that is completely supported. Tuesday plan, finish up any loose ends from Monday. And if you didn't get a chance to Monday, Tuesday's a great day to finish all of that. So let's continue. We'll go into Wednesday. And if you have joined me, please do like the video. That helps the algorithm so other people can see it. And if you're interested, please let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know where everyone is tuning in from. If you weren't here earlier, I am currently in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan in a storm. Beautiful. But let's go to Wednesday. So Wednesday is the 15th of October, so we're already pretty much mid-month here. So the energy, we got Moon in Taurus first. So that moved through on Tuesday. So we're in Taurus for Wednesday. And this is collectively focused on comfort, value, and gratitude. So grounding through sensory connections. So the combined idea is like, it's the ideal day for grounding, cooking, and turning off screens, tending to your body and home. So Wednesday might really feel like, you know, like the bundle up. Get your blankie, get your nice warm hot cocoa, especially if you're in North America and it's cold. It's a little bit colder for some of these places, especially if you're kind of on near the border on the western part of Canada to the US. So it's a really good day. I feel like in my mind, I'd get your blankie, get your cup of coffee, cocoa, warm soup. I just get comfy, right? Like, be grateful. It's a great day to journal, write your gratitudes, things you're thankful for, which is also going to help you ground for that day. If it's nice enough, go outside and get your bare feet in the ground. That's always recommended, and that should if you can do it daily, that is best, right? And and tend to your body and your home, right? So again, maybe more movement, maybe it's like giving yourself a spa day, whatever that means for you, that's highly recommended. So physical walk, gardening, laying on the ground, barefoot outside, really supported. Cooking activities, warm house and home. Tending to your body, as I mentioned, stretching, yoga, hydration, maybe more sleep when you come through Wednesday. And it's a really domestic focus we're seeing for this week. So washing, bedding, airing out spaces, suggest getting some essential oils or some nice smells for your area, decorating for the season, because you've already cleaned up, right? If you were doing Monday and Tuesday reorganizing and cleaning up, this is a great day to kind of go forward with maybe that new energy of how you're changing your physical location, right? So grounding and comfort is really highly emphasized for Wednesday. And we've got the elements of stability, which is earth, and then water, we've got emotion. So we've got stability and emotion. So it's going to feel a little more stable overall with the emotional energy. again, though, if it is for your own personal charts, that could be very different, right? So the collective is like that, but based on what your actual charts are, could be a little different. So it's notice how that affects you. And if you are interested in your own personalized reading, you can go to my website. It's in the description and it's on my channel, and you can book yourself your own personalized reading where I will pull up your charts and tell you essentially anything you really want. We can pull up everything from your actual purpose, what you were here to do, to where you are most aligned to live. We can go into many different things. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out on my website. But let's pick out the energy for Wednesday, as I am shuffling them. So we'll see if we get another one of the same overlapping energy. I'm picking the same cards. So obviously this is all kind of the same cycle energy. We've got, again, the Marian C codes. So embracing the sensitivity, that's appropriate. We're in comfort mode, taking care of ourselves, like being sensitive, maybe noticing things too, because part of self-care is also becoming aware of how things affect you, so you can be more caring, right? Like if you notice when you eat something that it bothers you, taking that self-care to cut that out, because maybe you just noticed today, as an example, right? Uniqueness, living with grace. So embrace the comfort, embrace the sensitivity for Wednesday, get grounded. It's highly supported. Live with grace. Like just really feel like you're gracefully moving through Wednesday. Continuing on, we're moving to Thursday. That is the 16th. And the moon is still in Taurus at the beginning of the day. And then it starts to move through into, where am I? Into Gemini. There we go. Into Gemini. So collectively, we're really seeing curiosity grow. Conversations are flowing, insights through interaction. So we might just have like this conversation with somebody that just inspires us. That's kind of the energy of the week. Perfect for planning. So this is, again, continuing through this week. Still a great day, great time to plan, brainstorm, and for the short travel. So if you were planning travel earlier in the week, Thursday is a good day to travel. So it's an idea day. To-do lists feel exciting instead of maybe heavy. So if you're a list person, or you're not a list person because you're like, oh, it's such a long list, it won't feel as heavy. It's going to feel lighter. Like actually like, ooh, this is fun to check off and get all these things done. If you're that way. And it may not be fun, but it won't feel as heavy. Or mapping out new projects and travel, itineraries and schedules. So maybe if we're making things or planning things, that's all for sure supported continuing through Thursday. Short travel, motion will mirror mental activity. So moving is actually highly recommended because that will help with where you're mentally at. So if you're feeling stuck, get yourself on go to a little trip. Whether you're walking, whether you take yourself on a little trip for a picnic, wherever you are, that will help you get out of that energy if you're feeling that, because it's going to mirror your mental activity. Get it moving, right? Also a great day because it is that great idea day. It's a good day to research things, learn something, watch documentaries, read, and message people that you might want to work with. So it's really like, it's idea day, like research, learn new things, watch things, take in some new information is highly supported. Hello, Paul. Thank you for joining me. The social energy returns and it stays friendly. So it's a friendly energy. We might find innovative stories and announcements of partnerships or new ventures that are starting to emerge. So that's something more in the collective, is that by the time we get like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we might be hearing of some really interesting things going forward on more of the collective and bigger scale. We also have people begin to connect big picture dots with earlier in the month. So whether it could be in the greater scheme, but it could also be in your own personal life, where something from earlier in this month, it's just like, ooh, okay, well now this, like, you're looking at it differently, you're connecting the dots, you're seeing a bigger picture. It's also can bring up the let's try energy. So maybe if we had a situation where earlier in the month we were kind of thinking about it, well now it's time to try it. That can be also supported with that big picture idea. So curiosity and connection super supported for Thursday. So if there's anything you're really interested or want to learn, highly supported to start learning it then. And we've got elemental overlays of air, which is ideas, and earth, which is follow through. So we've got ideas and follow through. So it's not only bring the ideas, start to make some steps or take the steps to make it work and manifest. Okay, let's pull our message for Thursday, the 16th, and the energy. I'm going to keep shuffling this. We'll see how these cards go. I always find it interesting when you pull similar messages for weeks that have the similar energies and how appropriate they are. Okay. Sacred inner light. Sacral chakra, tenderness, sensuality. So we've got the inner space, and that actually makes sense. Like when it's an idea day, right? So that's really coming from the inner space. Like, what is our idea? What is it we want to create? And it's a sacred inner space, right? So maybe we're getting into some new ideas in like a more spiritual or sacred way as well. Like that can definitely be supported. The tenderness, so again, that does overlap a little bit with the Wednesday, right? Like bringing in that self-care, but it is also, you know, being okay, like brainstorm, like being okay. And the tenderness, I think it overlaps a little bit with like where short travel supported. Motion will mirror your mental activity. So tenderness might be important, that you need to get yourself in motion to help change where you're mentally at on Thursday if you're feeling that it is a harder day, right? Depending on your own personal charts. But we are really being told sacral energy, so that's the second chakra. Again, into that, not quite the root, but we're still in that family, that connection. And that's also a lot of where the creative energy starts to come from as well in manifesting things out through this matrix. So it's very interesting. Awesome. Let's continue as always, jumping into Friday. That's the 17th. Moon is now fully in Gemini. Collectively, we've got emotions surfacing. Truth comes through conversation and honesty. So again, that kind of overlaps a little bit with the day before, where conversations flow and insights might come from those conversations. It's still kind of, that energy is still supported in Friday, that there might be some truth or some more inspirations through a conversation and honesty. It is very much supported to be patient, compassionate, and avoid quick reaction. So that's the notes of Friday. So being patient. So things that might come up, watching your own life, traffic, tech glitches, delayed replies, miscommunication. Venting is okay to hold space, but kind of keep it in that getting yourself grounded, right? And again, remember that that is the energy is for patience. So if you are dealing with tech, traffic, delays, it's in the energy. It's not you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's in the energies. Find your way to ground and work through it, right? If when the compassion, tears and heart opening without clear reason. So because we're having a lot of conversations and honesty and doing a lot of research, we might just have spontaneous awakenings and heart openings. Like we don't know why we feel so emotional, but it's really like we're opening up and we're releasing energy that is no longer serving us. We also have things that we might see, bursts of chatter and ideas, debates, frustration with delays, and impatient with process. So we might even see on people complaining about frustration and delays. We know in the States the government shut down, so maybe that'll come up a little bit more, because I know I've heard some mumblings, but I haven't really heard too many complaints about the delays and stuff like that. So that might come up. That might be something that we see, something with delays or impatience with processing, maybe people complaining about certain things taking a really long time to get done. Those are all very much aligned with the energy of even Thursday going into Friday. Strongest energy is emotional truth, and that's probably why we're really having these heart-opening, spontaneous, emotional things. And communication, which is healing. So those are really it. Emotional truths and communication, which will help us heal. So this might be a day where you really are having a deep conversation with a family member, a friend, which really helps you to heal. And whether it's with them or whether it's a scenario, doesn't matter, but it's going to be that conversation will assist with that. And the elemental overlays for Friday, we've got air and water. So clearing through emotions is what is supported. And so we might also see collectively lessons in emotional regulation. So we're starting to maybe hear some stories of compassion versus cruelty, because we've seen, you know, with the energy, because we're switching energies. Monday, as I stated, was this energetic shift day, right? So by the time we get to Friday, it's interesting because I think, you know, we're going to feel that there's more compassion. You know, we're collectively changing. We are deciding to call accountability through empathy, not rage. Empathy, not rage, not getting out our pickets, not going and throwing things. We're finding ways to be accountable without being cruel, right? And bringing that in, because we've had a huge amount of cruelty. I could think of many, many examples in the last few years of where there's no compassion. It's been very cruel, very inhumane, some of the things that are happening, right? So I look forward to hearing stories myself of where we're seeing compassion as and being compassionate for people that are taking accountability. Because, you know, at the same time, like, if we think of it in this way, that somebody that takes accountability for their actions, whether they purposely mess up or accidentally, when you take accountability, people feel better. They're like, okay, you didn't mean to, we appreciate that. That is a huge lesson that is gonna probably show itself. So it'll be interesting to see how it shows itself in the 3D realm, because, you know, when we're not raging and we're not angry and we can resonate that, oh, I've done that before. It's like getting road rage. I'm sure most of us, if you drive, at one point has gotten annoyed driving. And then you might have that empathetic thing where instead of the rage, you're like, oh, you feel the empathy for that person that cut you off by accident because you've done it before, right? Like, it's remembering that nobody's perfect to begin with. And when we can come back to being accountable for our actions, we're going to be met with more empathy, especially on Thursday. Okay, and then the last part of Thursday is Mercury aspects can create a hold and review energy. So emails stuck, meetings postponed, travel delays. Again, that was that impatience-ness energy. So if you do have that happen, it's Thursday's energy, right? Attempt to not take it personally. And that's just where all the alignments go. Okay, let's pick our backup energetic message for Friday. It's Friday. Did I say Thursday? I'm doing Friday. I apologize if I said Friday. It's Thursday. Friday. I apologize if I said Thursday. It's Friday. I even have them written down. Like, some days, like, I have written in my thing, Friday. And this is probably backwards. Friday. I win. If only we were perfect, right? Okay, let's pick the energetics and what the divine have to kind of just give us a little guidance for Friday, and with all this, you know, patience, being empathetic, and, you know, being able to emotionally regulate ourselves as a collective, right? Venetian Galactic Council. Star beings, answer the call, time to shine. So I think that's actually that's perfect, because stories of compassion versus cruelty, accountability through empathy and not rage, that right there seems like that's a time to shine as humanity, right? Because we're really getting that collective lesson, which is, it's about time we start to get some of these lessons. So I feel that is super appropriate, that we're going to shine. We're going to start to shine. It's answering the call, answering these messages, you know, answer the impatience and be okay. Give yourself that little bit of ability to emotionally regulate whatever comes up, clearing through emotions, right? So be okay with that. And you are supported. The star being guides are here supporting us through this, especially since this is a collective lesson. We are being supported by our greater guides. They're watching us. They're supporting us through this. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of comes up on Thursday to Friday with that energy. Now we're going to look at the Saturday, and where is it? There we go. Saturday into Sunday. So let's go Saturday first, the 18th. We have the moon is still in Gemini, so we still have that same energy at the beginning of the day as we did on Friday, but then it moves into Cancer. So we're going to shift from intensity to calm. So it might feel intense with this compassion over cruelty and this empathy, not rage, might be intense, but that energy is going to calm down by Saturday. And we're going to return to emotional roots. Family connections, a reflection day, is really highly supported. Beautiful for grounding with loved ones. So as I mentioned at the beginning, by the time we get to next weekend, it's really good for all the healing, all the stuff we've done during the week to reconnect with families. Like slow down and remember who you love energy and who you're putting that energy into and with. You know, maybe phone your parents, grandparents, spend time with your kids, partners, friends. That's all supported next weekend. Reflections on our ancestry, emotional patterns, forgiving from misunderstandings. Again, that cooking, family meals, board games, watching old movies, all this strong bond stuff for next weekend is so supported. So as you're planning this week, because earlier on in the week is all about cleaning up, organizing, planning things, I would highly recommend plan next weekend to be very family oriented. Whether your family is physically family members you're genetically related to, or family that is just your chosen family. It doesn't matter who these are. Spend time, reflect. It's a very healing day when we come through Saturday. We got homecoming and heart renewal are the strongest energies. And the elemental overlays for Saturday is water, which is our emotion, and air, which is expression. So we're really expressing and healing, and there's so much of that strong family bond. So it's really beautiful. We also have collectively for Saturday, there's going to be a cultural tone of nostalgia and heritage theme trends. So watch for things like maybe it'll be like remember like who we have been, right? Like that type of trend. We might see videos more aligned with that type of stuff. There will be less social media noise, so we won't be hearing people maybe as annoyed and frustrated with slowdowns and delays as we did on the Friday. And community gatherings will feel small. They might be small, but they're gonna really feel kinder. So it's a great, like I said, family, community, just such a good energy for the weekend for Saturday. And we might though see an economic shift to housing and caregiving or family support. So keep that in mind because it's all very much about our relationships on Saturday and where we are from. Perfect. Let's pick an energetic card for Saturday. Okay, that one just fell at me, so we'll pick that. Karmic board cleaning. Yes, that's what we're doing. Energetic cleaning, rewrite your story, live your truth. And I feel like it's a very, very appropriate because we have energetically cleaned. We're rewriting our story. We're being more compassionate as we've gone through the week. We're healing with family, and we're remembering who we love, right? So we're rewriting the story to live in our truth of, really, it's family connections are so important. That is how we exist, right? So we've got that energetic clearing on a whole, and it's all coming into this beautiful new story of more bonding, more connection, and more respect from where we come from as well, right? So live your truth and slow down and remember who you love. And that's the energy of Saturday. Then we come into Sunday. So as we round out the week, we come where we'll meet back next Sunday for the week after, where I'll do the reading. So when we come into Sunday, the moon is in Cancer, so it's fully in Cancer on Sunday, which of course is all emotion, right? So you got nurturing and emotional balance. It's a quiet day of gratitude, perfect for rest, simplicity, and home-based grounding. So we might find nothing fancy, everything is sacred. Sleep in, lounge, take naps. You'll feel like your body wants to catch up. So if that comes into your weekend after all that energetic, be sensitive, be okay with that. Let yourself rest when you come into the 19th, that Sunday. Clear clutter one task at a time. So if there's still any tasks you never got finished earlier in this week, Sunday's a great day to finish up doing those, bringing them back in. We're craving minimalism on Sunday. So just, we don't want a lot. We're craving more organization and less. We've got home-based grounding, reading in bed, coffee, tea in bed, gentle yoga, journaling by the window, soft music, that's self-taken care of, baths, time with your pets. Just really think of Sunday as just a day to self-soothe, right? Reduce your screen time. Weekend is really highly recommending to be less on technology. Give yourself a social detox on Sunday, because you did spend a lot of time on Saturday, which was great. It had, you know, you remember who you love, you're having gratitude, and you're sharing some great experiences. But Sunday's gonna be like, we need some space. You gotta get this energy, you gotta absorb, balance out. If you're like me, which are more of an introvert, and you can feel people's energies, you might be really tired, right? Because you were more out with people, right? And that can be extremely draining for many people. And then clearing space, you know, like just changing up, minimize. Maybe you look at a cupboard and you're like, I don't need any of this stuff. And you're like, just going, I'm getting rid of this. This doesn't feel good to me anymore. I don't need it. And that feels like that's kind of the energy we're going to be seeing. So it's a great day on Sunday for an emotional reset and gratitude. We've got the elemental overlays of water, which is our love, and earth, which is stability. So we're gonna have love and stability because we've had such a great weekend, and that I feel is a great way to start next week. And then just tune in, come and find me next Sunday, same time, 11:11 Eastern, 9:11 Mountain Time, or 8:11 a.m. Pacific Time, and we'll find out, because if that energy is flowing into the next week, that would be wonderful. I don't know yet. I haven't pulled those. So we'll have to find out. But let's pick the overall message for Sunday when we meet again. And to be notified, do please subscribe so you can get notification. And if you are watching, I would totally appreciate a like or a comment. That does help the algorithms so people can actually see this that might find this content interesting. Okay, Sunday's message. Oh, what a beautiful card. I was just like, oh, we got the Seraphim's Gateway. Voice activation, angelic attunement, divine support. So as that day, because it's really that emotional, you know, we're love stability day, it feels like it's angelic attunement, right? Like we're attuned, we're in a line, we've got the divine has been supporting us, and it's gonna feel like maybe we're more divinely guided. I feel like that's really it. For those that are watching and hearing this, you're gonna feel that you are more aligned, more guided. If you've been doing your grounding, you've been doing your connecting, that self-care, and as we go through, what was it, on Friday, where we're collectively going through emotional regulation, it's like all of it really just shows that we're getting in attuned with the angelic higher frequencies, and we are completely supported by the divine. So it's gonna feel beautiful. I feel like this energy for this weekend this coming weekend is just gonna be so nice after all this noise, right? And especially since tomorrow, Monday, we are changing, and we're gonna feel that. How did I phrase this? Let me go back here. Fresh start of energy. And so that is going to be just really where we're going, and then it's going to be feeling more soothing and inspirational by the end of the week. So that's the overall week. If you are here still watching and you have any personal questions, I'm happy to pull a card for you. So think about it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll pull one card for everybody watching just before we go. But I do have a weekly mantra to leave you with. So if you're finding this week a little challenging, or when you're grounding or doing your little intention setting and journaling, this is a really great kind of mantra to match the week. I listen, I ground, I act in harmony with greater rhythm. I listen, I ground, I act in harmony with greater rhythm. I listen, I ground, I act in harmony with greater rhythm. I can say that. So it's really that's a great week. I'm really happy about this week comparatively to what I've been feeling, and I'm sure some people have been feeling similar things as well. So it's going to be a great week. Get your grounding, be open. It's a great week to tie up loose ends, do scheduling, clear, change your decor, put out maybe some fall decor. If you're into Halloween, great time. I do not recommend Christmas yet. Please don't do Christmas yet. Just as, no, not Christmas yet, okay? Oh, hello, Monette. Thank you for joining me. Oh, well, I'm so glad you found me as well. Thank you, Monette. So as I've been requesting during this, please do like, subscribe, share this so other people can find this content. And I will be back next week, same time. We'll go over the week going forward. And if you do want your own personalized reading, so if you want to really know how these energies affect you, where you should be located, that type of stuff, go check out my website. We can do a personal reading. It's called the Soul Map. So we look at your Vedic, your Western astrology, as well as your astrocartology. So that would be where you're located, your numerology, your human design, and I think there's something else that I put into that. But we're looking at all these, and it's all numbers. So it works out really well that we're looking at where your energies are really highlighted when you take all these different systems into play. So when I'm doing these readings, that's what I'm looking at, is systematically a lot of different lines. It's Western and Vedic astrology combined for where the energy really sits. So if you really want to know what is most active for you, or have questions, or want to know, because right now, I know I'm not the only person, because I'm hearing this all over and I can see this. It's it's constricting. There's not a lot of a flow of abundance for a lot of us. A lot of us are struggling, feeling like we're not creating enough, not enough flow coming in. And I can actually give you some guidance on how long that's going to last, kind of where your energy is, why that might be happening. This is a cycle, and a lot of us are being affected the same way, but it's a little different in our tones and I guess the flavoring of how we are, because we're all different, right? We all different, little bit different alignments and charts. But thank you so much for joining me. Let's pull one final card of the overall message for everybody that came today to listen and get an idea of what is happening for the week ahead. So what do the guides have as our final moment, final message for today? Oh, Shambhala initiation, Shambhala, like, yeah, really retreating to recharge. There's a lot of that, right? Especially when we get to the end of the week today and end of the next week. Trust the process. This is Dharma. This is our purpose. This is where we're going. And that is also something I can pull. So if you are interested in what your purpose is here, I can get a really good idea of why you came and what your soul's mission is. So that is the Dharma, is we're here for this mission. And this week is really retreating to recharge. We're recharging, we're getting new seeds, we're planting, and it's trusting the process. I know that's a lot of it is when I pull these charts and stuff, we don't really know what happens until you go through them. And then you can see how much they do align, right? Trust is part of it. Trust is part that the divine has got your back. It isn't your enemy, even if it feels like, why is the divine doesn't like me and not supporting me right now? Often it's a thing we have to learn and get through with our own energetic cycles. And so it's trusting the process as we go through this week. It's our Dharma, it's our purpose. And, you know, take some time to recharge, especially by next weekend. Spend time with your family, remember who you love, do that self-care. It's going to be beautiful energies by the end of the week. And, you know, it's a quiet energy. So get some time, take it away from the tech, and get yourself grounded. So have a beautiful, beautiful week. Again, happy Thanksgiving if you're in Canada. And I will see you all next week, same time, same place. And do make sure to subscribe so you get notified for when I do go live. Thank you so much. Namaste.